Welcome back to Access Anime. I'm Henshin Ikeda, and today I'll be doing a walkthrough and review of Fairy Tail episode 156. Now, if you remember from last episode, the Grand Magic Games have started. Now, they're being taken place in Crocus, and everyone's in their own little inns. And what's interesting is, out of nowhere, each inn rises up from the ground, and that's where the games actually start. Now, again, the rules were pretty much set. If you weren't part of Fairy Tail or any other guild, you didn't have the little stamp logo marking on your body, you weren't part of the group, you're just a spectator. Also, everyone from your group of 5 has to be at the arena after you get out of the Sky Labyrinth, so that was kind of interesting. But those were the set rules. Now, again, Carla and Wendy are missing, but only Wendy is part of the actual team that's participating in the Grand Magic Games. So with her missing, causes a huge chaos within last episode. But that was last episode, and this is a new episode. So let's dive right in. And again, I'll keep my comment and my rating at the end of the clip, so stay tuned. But let's dive right in. Now, we open up this episode actually with Elfman replacing Wendy. Yeah, now that actually makes sense, because remember there were 6 beds in the inn at the Honeybone Inn, so that makes sense. Now sadly, I would never pick Elfman to be a teammate, just because, I don't know, he's like Natsuo, except he's weaker. He's not exactly up to par with a Dragon Slayer, but you know, he was there, Fairy Tail is still in, so that's all that really matters. Now again, we have about 8 teams that can actually finish this little trial. It's called a elimination round, and out of like 113 different guilds, only 8 of them can actually participate. Now what was interesting is you can use magic and there's no restrictions, so you could literally cheat if you wanted to. Now I thought again it was even more interesting the fact that out of nowhere it dawns on Natsuo we can eliminate people, so let's just eliminate everyone else before we finish, just to, you know, thin out the herd. But sorry, I digress. Let me dive back in. Now again, Elfman is now part of the Fairy Tail team that's participating in the Grand Magic Games, and it kind of dawned on me, he's not registered. When they registered the group, I didn't see him being registered. So is he registered, or is he just in a temporary slot that we don't know anything about? I just thought I'd bring that up. I mean, you have to be registered in paper. You can't just show up even if you're part of the guild. But sorry, I again so digress. I had to point that out. But again, it was interesting to see Elfman join them. Now we're taken to a different scene. We see Leanna and Happy. They're looking for Wendy and Carla right now. So that's their little project. Now Urza's the one that brings it up and tells them, you guys start looking for this. So Urza's taken the initiative to give orders out to Leanna and Happy to find Carla and Wendy. And again, Wendy is the one that's actually needed, not Carla. Now we see the Sky Labyrinth, and again there's no restrictions and you can use magic however you want. But here's a different catch. We get to see what the Sky Labyrinth looks like. It's a 3-dimension maze. I was like, wow. Like a big ball of crap and the maze is inside. At least that's how I view it as. But inside it's like artwork. Literally artwork. Everything's in 3-dimension. So that was kind of interesting. Now we're taken to a different scene. We see Urza. She wants to make a notes, or in this case a map of where they've been, because they're just going around in circles. So I was like, well, I thought it was kind of funny. I'm like, Urza's the one that came up with that? I would have thought Lucy would have been the first one to come up with that idea, because she's the writer within the group. Now, Natsuo and Urza actually overhear the Twilight Org, which is a different guild, which if you remember correctly, they were actually the guild that was knocking at the Fairy Tail Guild's HQ and beating the crap out of everyone before everyone from the island showed up. So this is their payback. This is where they can actually kick Twilight's butt yet again, and they beat the crap out of this guild, and that was well worth seeing. Now, we also see, as soon as that guild is defeated, and a couple of the members fall out, and again, if you fall out from the labyrinth and you go straight to the ground, you're disqualified, because you need all of your members to actually finish to enter the arena. If you don't have all your members, even if you finish, you're disqualified. And again, this guild, the Twilight Org, they're disqualified because it looks like a few of their members fell out of the labyrinth, of Sky Labyrinth. And what's interesting is they had also maps drawn out of where they've been. And Urza finds this, and I thought it was kind of funny. And I guess the group forms an idea, well, if we defeat all these other groups, it thins out the herd, less skills to be competitive toward, and we get pieces of different maps so we can actually go somewhere, go to where the arena's at. So that actually makes a lot of sense. Now, I thought it was kind of interesting. We do a little sexy cutscene. We see Urza. She's in a black leather outfit. I'm like, wow, that was... Hey, this is me saying it. That was well worth watching Urza kick butt, specifically in leather, like two-piece. But it was hilarious. And she's just collecting maps, so is everyone else. And I guess they designated Lucy to be the map reader or bearer. Everyone's giving her the maps and expects her to figure it out. But I was hilarious scene there. Now we're taken to a different scene, and now they're in the center of Sky Island. I keep calling it Sky Island, I'm sorry. It's not Skypiea from One Piece, this is Fairy Tail. I keep forgetting that. The Sky Labyrinth. Now everyone is actually in the center of it. Now here's the weird part. They're on top, technically, looking down on looks like a little village in the middle of this Sky Labyrinth. I was like, huh? But it just gets better. And again, they're upside down and they have to fall in order to get to the village. So, well, at least those maps kind of worked out for the best. Now, we see a celestial spear called Pixis or Pixis. I think it's pronounced Pixis. It starts with a P. And it looks like a duck or a bird with a compass. Now, we see it twice within this episode. At the first part of the episode, we see this celestial spear try to be a compass, but Urza's compass is a lot better. So, not so lucky. The second time is when Urza's compass couldn't work because of the 3 Demolition Worlds kind of messing with the compass. So I assumed, hey, maybe they're going to fly the bird down, but they're relying on this bird yet again to find the right direction. And again, hilarious. I think it reminds me of Psyduck from Pokemon. That might just be me, but it kind of reminds me of, Psyduck just a little bit. Now we're taken to a different scene where we see Happy and Lisanna, and they are actually at the palace. Again, because this was the last place that Carla and Wendy said they were heading to. I'm like, well, it took them forever for them to come up with this kind of plan. I would have thought that would be the first place you'd probably want to check. So they're there, and I guess the guards, it's nighttime, the guards don't want to let them in, but I guess the king is actually looking forward to the Grand Magic Games, so they let them in. And of course, they do find Happy and, well, sorry, not Happy, they do find Carla and Wendy. They're passed out. Now, we do see a different cutscene where we see all the guilds that right now are in the Sky Labyrinth, notably Fairy Tail in general. They are what's left, I guess, of everyone that did not fall out of the Sky Labyrinth, and they see a sign that says goal or something like that, and they head toward it. And again, you see the guy that looks like a pumpkin, he's there, and I thought it was funny. He's like, yeah, you guys, congratulations. It's like, so we're the first ones. This is what comes out of Natsuo's mouth. It's like, no, you guys were the 8th team and final team. I was like, oh, what do you expect? It was going to be a fair fight for you guys? Of course you're in last place. But you're in 8th place out of 113 different guilds. So you're not in last place like the previous year, so at least that's one up somewhere. Now, we're taken to a different scene. We actually get to see Carla and Wendy again. They are passed out. And I guess Lisanna and Happy are trying to awaken them. And Wendy has no idea what happened, but she seems really hysterical and kind of like, what happened? What happened? And her eyes are kind of grayed out. And we see it looks like a villainous character on the flower light, those little flower light posts in the back. But we don't know who he is. But I believe that's one of the characters that is supposed to be held responsible for what happened to Carla and Wendy. But again, we don't really know that. But we just see them in the background, and they look very shifty. And it's just one character. Again, we don't know their identity. But again, that ends it for this episode in general. That's where we end. So again, Wendy and Carla have been found, and Elfman is now part of Team Fairy Tail that's inside of the Sky Labyrinth, which they just finished. Now, for final thoughts, okay, who's this guy that was on that lantern slash flower? We don't know who he is, or what faction he's with, or guild, or maybe he's with the Royal Palace. We don't know. Also, I'm curious, what happened to all the other guilds within the 113 like who survived. We don't know. We were at the brink of finding out who was going to be the top 8 guilds. Now, obviously, I've read the manga on this part. I know which guilds, but I haven't seen it in the anime yet. I want to see what these characters are going to look like now that they've been animated, So that's something to look forward to. Now, also, I want to see more of Urza. No, it was kind of hilarious because instead of Urza being Top Gun, minus that little sex scene, I guess, where she's like dressed up in leather, we see Elfman. He stepped up, grabbed Natsuo, and I forget who else he was holding, and was able to save them. So Elfman, he's stepping it up. I still don't like him as much as I used to because he looks a lot different, and I just, he's not my favorite character. But I'm glad he was there to save Fairy Tail. And I guess I'll throw in one more final thought. Where's Jalel, Altair, and Melody? Where is Crime Scorsese? Where are they at? I was hoping to see him in this episode, but that's something to look forward to next episode, though. Also, where is everyone? Because at the end of this episode, we do not know where everyone's at. Because the guy that's keeping track of what teams have made it, the guy that looks like a pumpkin, does not announce to anyone who's made it and what's going to be the next event. So that's a weird kind of ending. Now, as for rating, I feel comfortable giving this a 4 out of 5. I do. It was funny. It's Fairy Tail. No, there wasn't a lot of battle scenes, but we did see a little more information. Not a lot. But I felt comfortable giving this a 4 out of 5. I should give this a 3.5 out of 5, but I feel comfortable at 4 out of 5 right now. And again, that ends it for my walkthrough and review of Fairy Tail episode 156. I've got 2 more walkthroughs and reviews to do for today. I thought I only had 1. I got 2 more. Another one snuck up, so definitely stay tuned. And again, comment down below, subscribe above, thumbs up, thumbs down. Check me out on Twitter, follow me if you want. That ends it for now. Right now, anyways. Before I go, gotta say it. Can't stop the access, but you can watch the feed. I'll see you later, guys.